coaches? What if I told you that the very marketing strategies that you're potentially using right now, they're not just costing you years of your life, but maybe even costing you $100,000 or more in income as well? See, after spending the last 16 years, and I've tested over 50 different marketing methods, invested well over $7 million, over 12,000 hours trying to master this thing called marketing, I've come to a very simple conclusion. About 95% or more of the popular marketing strategies out there, they're just wasting most coaches' time and money. So to stop you wasting hundreds and thousands of hours in trial and error, like I had to do because I didn't have someone guiding me along the way, I want to reveal the top 10 popular marketing time wasters that you really need to stop doing now. And I'm also going to give you 3 rock solid rules to empower you to make better decisions when you're growing a thriving coaching business. At the end, I'm also going to share a new smarter way to attract clients that has helped us generate in excess of $55 million in our own coaching and course creation business. So here we go. Number 1, websites. Don't build a website when you're first beginning. You don't need a website. What you need at the very most is a landing page. A website has your homepage, your about us, the blog posts, and your services. You don't need that to attract clients. You need one page that is focused on one thing, whatever your client attraction presentation is. It's either going to be a free strategy session, free event, or something free that you give people. So as an example, if you think you need a website to, hey, Cham, don't I need a website to place a Facebook ad or anything like that? You don't need a landing page, even on a website, to place a Facebook ad. You can have a thing called an instant form. So it looks something like this. You will see the ad pop up on Facebook or Instagram, and you can see there's a form that magically appears. And once they've finished filling in the form and you have their details, if you want, later on, you can redirect them to a website of your choosing, but you don't have to have an actual website. Here are some other things that a lot of people think they need besides a website. You don't need business cards. You don't need brochures. They are not the most essential, fastest path to attracting clients for you. So you can spend a lot of time mucking around, figuring out the best fonts and colors for your business card. I've done that before, and it's not the best use of your time. Number 2 would be podcasts. This is similar to websites because a lot of people think, if I build a website or I build a podcast, people will come. They don't come. There's hundreds and thousands of podcasts all over the world, just like there's millions of websites. You don't just start generating traffic just because you built it. This is not 1995 or something when podcasts first came along. There's too many these days. You still need to market that podcast. And because you still need to market that podcast, then you should be marketing and getting straight to the point of marketing what I call your client attraction presentation. The thing that attracts a client, but also now you can ask them to buy your program. You can't ask them to buy the program on a podcast. I speak from experience as well, by the way. I had a podcast. If you go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and then you type in something like Cham, Tang, Marketing Made Easy, you'll see this podcast and you'll see this is what I had. I stopped doing it because once again, it just took too much time and I still had to market it. And you can't click the podcast. You can't track the podcast. Right about now, you might be thinking, but Cham, some people, they do so well off podcasts. If you ask yourself the question, will it work? That's an average question. You will get an average answer. You ask a great question, you get a great answer. Do not ask yourself, will it work? Please write this down. Ask yourself, is this the best use of my time? If you ask yourself, will it work? Cold calling works. Podcasting works. Trying to be a world famous singer and then be on the Grammys, that works too. But is that the best use of my time? Is that the best chance of success that I've got to succeed in my life, in my business? Probably not. The other big problem with a lot of these things is there is no feedback. Especially I'm speaking to right now, the beginners. There are these 3 things called delivery methods, ways that you communicate to people. When you first begin, you want to start one-on-one because there's a lot of quick feedback that you can get one-on-one. It's low technology. You could call someone up tomorrow and have a free strategy session. You could book that in fairly easily. Next, there is one-to-many, where you're one person speaking to many people at once. It could be a keynote presentation, a free workshop, a retreat, a Zoom event, something like that. You can see there's less feedback, but you still get feedback. You can see people in the gallery view. You can ask them to type in the chat box. Then last but not least, there's 0-to-many. This is like a podcast. You're not even there and you're speaking to many people. You're not going to get feedback that way. And this is harder to create. It's so much harder to create a podcast than it is to jump on the phone with someone or meet them at a coffee shop. So these delivery methods, you want to start one-on-one, then go one-to-many, then go none-to-many. Especially when you're first beginning, you need that feedback to occur. So as an example, on episode 1 of Client Attraction Secrets, I talked about finding your niche. If you want to look for it on YouTube later, just write down Cham, Tang, niche, and it'll come up. One of the things you need is that feedback. We have a shotgun approach, then we zero in. But if you're starting with a podcast, if you're starting with a book, I want to write this fantastic book, you're going to spend hundreds of hours writing this book and you're going to get zero feedback. For all you know, you're working very, very hard in the complete wrong direction. I've seen it happen just too many times before, so let me just save you the heartache for that. Number 3, any marketing method that trades time for money. There's just no leverage. The word leverage means doing more with less. So as an example, I used to rock up to networking events. I used to physically go to networking events, but that is the definition of trading your time for money. I think that's okay when you first start off because of the one-on-one thing. You're getting feedback, you're perfecting your elevator pitch, so to speak. But in the long run, it's not scalable. If you want more clients, you have to physically get dressed, put on your makeup if you do that, go and catch a bus to the thing. It just takes too much time. I've done that before and there's no leverage. There's only leverage if you're networking and trying to create partnerships, like I teach partnership marketing. If you're trying to meet the CEO of a corporation for corporate training, then there is leverage in that networking. But one-on-one time trading hours for one client is not the best use of your time. I'll give you another example. When we first started Authentic Education in 2009, I spent about $7,000 or so, or me and my business partner, and we went to the Mind Body Spirit Festival, which is a spiritual festival here in Australia, here in Sydney. And this is me about 15 years ago with one of our crew. We set up a stall, we created banners, we did the entire thing. We had little clipboards and CDs and things to give away, but it was trading our time for money. It was not scalable. I'll also put into that bucket flyers, handing out flyers. You can't track it. It costs more money. It's just, once again, can it work? You know, if I print out 10,000 flyers and I do letterbox drops, it's a numbers game. Sooner or later, that will work. I'm not saying that won't work. If you keep doing the podcast, sooner or later, you might get a client. But is that the best use of your time? No. Printing out flyers, no, that's not the best use of your time. Number 4 is free social media posts. Here we go. Strap in. This could ruffle a few feathers. I am talking about, by the way, Facebook pages, Facebook groups, Instagram stories, Reels, TikTok, LinkedIn posts, etc. It is not what I would call high ROI, return on investment. Every human being only has a limited amount of time, energy, and money. So therefore, you want to focus on the things that have the highest return on investment. And free social media posts, for what I just mentioned, is not them. Let me give you right now these 3 rock solid rules that I talked about at the start, so you can fish for yourself, so to speak, as opposed to me saying, don't do this, don't do that. Number 1, the question you want to ask yourself is, what you're doing going to reach new people? The marketing method you're about to do, does it reach brand new people all the time? See, if you've got 200 followers on Facebook or 300 on Instagram, when you post at the start, that's good because a lot of people haven't seen you post about your business before. But when you start posting 3 times a week, after a while, you're just reaching the same people over and over again. It's quite difficult in this day and age to just grow virally on Facebook and Instagram. And even when you do have more followers, like I've got 10,000 likes on my Facebook page. None of them were purchased. You shouldn't purchase likes. That's a whole different story. And I've got about 7,000 on my Instagram. But even then, I don't post regularly because only a small percentage of people see it. You don't want to be reaching the same people over and over again. I'm not saying that you can't do it. Do not rely on it as your primary strategy. I have a website. I have a brochure. I have a social media channel on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, but that's not where I'm relying to feed my family. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I'm relying on. Number 2, reuse. Whatever you just did, can you reuse it? Otherwise, you're going to have to feed the beast again and again. Social media wants to be fed every 24 hours. Your posts that you spent so much time picking the music for, doing the reel or whatever it is, in 24 hours time, it's gone. Poof, like a dust in the wind. They're not going to show a post that's 3 days old even. So if you cannot reuse the marketing, you'll always be grinding, always feeling that pressure of social media. There's no longevity in it. I'm talking about social media now, but it's the same with a networking event. I had a great conversation with that person. It was so good, but it's not like you recorded it and you can reuse it. You're just going to have to do that again forever if you want more clients. So in an ideal world, you need to be able to reuse it. Number 3, is it building a relationship? Here is my definition of marketing. The definition of marketing is building relationships with people until they feel ready to buy. So is what you're doing actually building a relationship? If you're handing out a flyer or something like that, that's not building a relationship. If you've got a great quote you saw from Oprah Winfrey and you put it on your Instagram, that's not building a relationship with you. You're building Oprah Winfrey's brand now, and that's not what we're wanting. So the 3 rules here. Does it reach new people? If we use social media as an example, after a while, it doesn't really. Can you reuse it? Definitely not. Ideally, you want 2 out of these 3. If all 3 are there, that's good, but ideally 2 out of 3. Does it build a relationship? Yes, but there's no scale there. There's no scale. So therefore, it's not the best use of your time. Now, I think social media, when you first begin, you've got existing people that have not heard from you before. All of your LinkedIn connections, etc. Use that for sure. Just like I could go through my mobile phone and text acquaintances or people and then give out free sessions or do a strategy session. That's great. But over time, this mobile phone contact list doesn't grow. I'm not reaching new people over and over again. I'm talking about free social media. I'm not talking about paid. When you start paying money to these big tech companies, that's when the game changes. See, if I've got 10,000 likes on Facebook and I do a post, my reach, how many people see that post? It's not all 10,000. It might be like 500. That's about 5% of the people. 10% if I'm lucky. But when you start paying money, then I don't have to feed the beast all the time. I can just reuse it. And now I am reaching new people. I can reach billions of people. And as long as the marketing I'm giving isn't sell, but it's teaching, educating, that's when I build a relationship. And that's when your business starts to change. You begin to attract clients on autopilot. Everyone's busy these days. That's why what is the best use of your time? By the way, I've got a favor to ask you. If you're liking this video so far, which I assume you are, otherwise you wouldn't be watching, could you please hit that like button? It just sends a message to the algorithm of YouTube that this video is good and it can show it to other people and it can help them and it will help me make better content for you. Now, back to the video. I just want to give a very special mention to YouTube. YouTube is a different beast. You see, if you look at something like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, people don't go there to search for things. They're not looking to learn. They're looking to be entertained. That's why the Instagram reel is only like 90 seconds, 30 seconds, 15-second stories. They're not looking for education. That would be like if you're trying to teach someone something, you've got great education that you would love to share. Do not do that at a party. At a party, people want to be entertained. They're not in the mood for education. You should do that at a library instead, where people want to learn and they sit down and they want to focus for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. That's YouTube. It's a library. And us as educators, I do not want to spend my time picking music, doing dancing videos, having quick cuts, always having to have props to gain your attention because I'm scared I'll lose it in 3 seconds. With YouTube, it's not like that. It's a library. That is where your best clients are. YouTube is also different because of longevity. If you think of the last time you looked at a YouTube video, you searched for something, you could see a video that is 3 days old, 3 weeks old, 3 months old, 3 years old. That never happens on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. 3 days is an awfully long time on those platforms. So now you have longevity. It's also not about views. People count it at views and likes. It's not about that. It's ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about clients that you attract. But in order to have clients that you attract, you need to spend time with them. It's not about views. It's not about likes. It's about average watch time. In YouTube, they call it AVD, average view duration. So without getting technical, the average view duration, if I put up a 30-minute video on YouTube, that's so much easier than me thinking about 5 2-minute entertaining educational videos. I'd rather just look down the barrel of the camera and spend most of my time educating people. That's what we want to do as educators. But now that video, even after 2 weeks, it might have a total watch time of like 100 hours. You know, each of those little posts I did might have a watch time of 5 hours. So I've got to do 20 of those little posts, and this 100-hour video, it just keeps growing and growing over time. That's after 2 weeks, let alone after 4 weeks, 6 weeks. So with free social media, pick the platform and stick with it. My advice is, yes, for the existing trust people that you've got, people who already know you, post some stuff, but you're going to stop reaching brand new people. And that is when you should switch to something else. And if I was to pick a platform, it'd 100% be YouTube. Rant over on the free social media. And by the way, I say this because I've spent so much time agonizing over metrics, getting FOMO. Am I missing out? That person's doing it. I'm not saying you can't grow on social media. It's just difficult to do. And it is not the best use of your time to try and go viral or something like that. Number 5, boosting posts on Facebook. If you've got a Facebook page, you would have seen a little blue button that says boost post, or that happens on Instagram as well if you've got a creator or a business profile. Do not do that unless you know what you're doing, because otherwise it's an ignorance tax. You're just going to amplify mediocrity. If that post did not bring you clients, do not boost it. Likes are nice, but clients are critical. You cannot pay the bills with likes, comments, and shares. So if that post did not bring in new clients, we do not boost it. And even if it did bring in new clients, we use the Facebook Ads Manager. It's the professional way to do it. So you have all of the bells and whistles at your fingertips. Then you can switch your ads on and off like a tap. You can do lookalike audiences. You can do evergreen ads. Anyways, there's so much cool stuff you can do with the Facebook ads platform that you cannot do by just boosting posts. If I throw $20, it'll reach another 1,000 people. Like, so what? For most people, it's so what? Number 6 is this thing I call BSOs. It stands for bright, shiny objects. There's always new things coming up. I've been in this business for 16 years. And before that, I worked for 2 other personal development companies, Tony Robbins, Universal Events, for another 4 years. I've seen fads come and go. You want to spend your time just like you spend your money investing in stocks. When Warren Buffett invests in a stock, he does not touch a company that has not been around for at least 10 years. Why? Just because it's the next big thing. He doesn't want to risk losing. You don't want to risk losing your time, energy, or money. Likewise, I typically don't touch anything, not 10 years, that's a bit much. I don't touch anything that hasn't been around for minimum 1 year, ideally 3 years. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of some fad. I want to spend my time on something that is still going to be around in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, something like that. So I've jumped on the bandwagons before. I've been burnt. Periscope, Google+, Clubhouse, Be Real, Threads. They've gone nowhere. Do you know what I mean? All that time I spent adding circles in Google+ and getting my Periscope Cham tag. For what reason? Where did it go? So if something is brand new, a brand new platform, I don't really touch it. I'll play with it, like, ChatGPT or whatever, and we use that really well. But if it's a brand new platform, I don't run towards it. I'll just maybe get my account and move on just to reserve my name. Any type of brand new funnel. Oh, this is a reverse funnel. This is an invisible funnel. This is a 3-day challenge. This is a 3-hour challenge. This is it's all just hogwash. They're just trying to spin things to uniquely separate them from the others. But I want something that has stood the test of time. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that when it comes to AI right now. There's all brand new fancy offers. The offers get more and more extreme. If you write down to have a look later, Cham Tang Trust Recession, look that up on YouTube. That was one of the previous episodes. The 5 stages, we're up to that stage now of low trust. So now it's like, I will get you clients or you don't pay a cent. I will install an appointment setter in your business or you don't pay. Who's seen ads kind of like that before? This is the last stage of trust that is occurring right now. Number 7, lead magnets. Anytime where you're saying, I'm going to spend my time creating this ebook or lead magnet in exchange for someone's email address, PDF downloads, ebooks, checklists, cheat sheets. The biggest problem with that, and I'm not saying they don't work, but it's not the best use of your time, especially when you first begin, because people don't spend time on that. They download it, and then so what? If you don't have time, you don't have trust. And if you don't have trust, you cannot ask for a transaction. The foundation of every relationship, be it with your potential client or a potential friend or partner or family member, we need time, we need trust combined. Once we have time and trust, we can ask them to do something, to take action, like come to a free event, like purchase my coaching program, like attend this free strategy session. If for some reason you've already got a lead magnet and you've created it, my 2-minute tip, or less than 2 minutes, 2-second tip on lead magnets would be this. Number 1, very narrow problem. It is not 7 ways to have your ideal life. It is, here is a life purpose template. Just fill in these 5 things, 5 steps to create your life purpose. You want a very quick win for a very narrow problem. And then as soon as you give away that lead magnet, on the thank you page, you offer that client attraction presentation I was talking about. So here is the cheat sheet, the template, the swipe file. profile, that's on its way to your inbox. In the meantime, if you would like one-on-one help to figure out your life purpose, I've got a free life purpose health check or life purpose assessment or something like that. So if you were to use a lead magnet, that's what I would do, because what I'm really interested in is attracting people's time, and I'm giving them education and help to get their time. And as I'm educating them, I'm building trust. Trust, also known as credibility. And now, if they're the right fit, I can ask them to take action, to buy something or register for something else. Number 8, any old business cards or contacts you have. When we started Authentic Education, my business partner, Ben, he was in a Deco recruitment. He had a box underneath his bed with hundreds of business cards. I very diligently, I typed them all up and I sent out the email to all of these people, only to realize it was a complete waste of time. It hurt us more than it helped us, because now, in case you don't realize, when you send out a mass email, it looks at your email address. If a lot of people hit this is spam or this is junk, or they unsubscribe and things like that, or if the emails bounce, which a lot of them will because you haven't emailed them before in many years, that's going to send a signal to Gmail, Yahoo, etc., Apple Mail, that you're a bit of a spammer. So we're going to start sending your emails maybe to the spam box. So that is not what you want at all. If you do not remember them, when you pick up that business card, they do not remember you. Forget about it and move on. That's the rule. So that will take your 100 business cards maybe down to like 3 people you might remember. Number 9, anything that is remotely spammy, do not do it. If you're tempted to direct message a whole bunch of strangers, if you're tempted on Instagram to do the follow, unfollow method, this is where you look at someone else's similar business. You can see they've got 1,000 followers. You start following all those followers randomly and you try and do 60 a day so that Instagram doesn't ping you for it. And then 2 days later, once half of them have followed you, you unfollow. Just don't do that. Not only are you trading your time for money, it's not building trust. It's not building that relationship. With a relationship, you begin the relationship by giving, not by getting. You have to give something. When I first meet my ideal client, I have to give them something. The best thing to give is education, solutions to people's problems. For us as difference makers, that is the best thing to give. Number 10, any free sessions or discovery sessions. If you're a coach or service provider, you might think, oh, if I just give my first session for free, that's going to be a great use of my time. Or if we have a discovery session, it's just not good. The discovery session, it has no value. You're not beginning a relationship by giving. It sounds like a thinly veiled sales pitch. Or I'm going to discover if you're wanting to buy my program. That's what it sounds like. You're not going to attract people to that. If you give a free session, it does attract people. It doesn't position you well. It gives off slight desperation vibes that you're just handing out free sessions. But the bigger problem to that is people make decisions not based on what you just gave them, which is a free session, but based on the vision they have for the future. When you're doing your free session, a free breakthrough session or something like that, they're thankful for it and it helps them. And it does build a relationship, but what it does not do is give them a vision for the future. Think Martin Luther King's speech, I have a dream. One of the reasons that speech was so powerful is essentially what he's doing is he's painting the vision for the future. I have a dream that one day my children will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. He's saying, here's what our life can look like in the future. And as a leader, as a coach, as a business owner, people will follow if you paint that future vision. Hence why a strategy session does that. It says, here's where you are. Here's where we could be in the future, and here's how to get there. Now, when we finish that strategy session, I have a future vision of what working with you would do for me, what it looks like, how my life will change, how fast it will change. Giving that free session doesn't do that. And when you race to the end of that free session because you said it was going to be an hour and now it's an hour and 10 minutes and you got to wrap it up because that's how always is it is. Now you want to say, oh, I've got this other thing that I've got a coaching program. Here's what happens. When you get to the end of that presentation, you have neither the time to explain your coaching program nor the trust. You don't have those two things. The time and the trust are not there at the end of the presentation. So instead, that's why I say you need a free client strategy session or a health check or an assessment or an audit or something like that. Something that builds a relationship with people. All right. So those are the 10 things that I said not to do. Let me just show you right now what you should do instead. Every time marketing works, it follows a process. It follows this process that I call the marketing map. It's an acronym. And now this is the very system that we have used in our business over the last 16 years to generate over $55 million in coaching and course revenue. The M stands for meet ideal clients. You need a way to consistently meet new ideal clients. There are only 7 ways I recommend. I'm not going to get into them right now, but you need to be able to meet your ideal clients. Once you meet your ideal client, you need to ask them for something. Do not ask them to download something for the sake of it. Do not ask them to buy. People don't buy just because you're wanting to sell. We need to ask for this thing that builds the relationship, which is time. Because like we said before, time plus trust is the foundation of every relationship. Then if it's a match for that person, I am in the position to ask for the transaction. So you might meet your ideal client through a joint venture partnership. Then you ask for time. They give you time because you're giving them education. You're giving them a free strategy session. You're giving them a free keynote speech. You're giving them a free talk. Then last but not least, you present your offer. You have the time and the trust now to present an offer, whatever the call to action is, that next step. This doesn't work with ebooks. You meet your ideal client, sure, they get your ebook. You have no time. If you have no time, what happens next? What was the plan? What was the long-term plan with the ebook? Just keep sending them emails and one day you're going to have a special on the trust isn't there. We need time for trust. Time, educating them, trust. Now I'm in the position to present my offer. That is totally different. By the way, the less steps, the better. I know there's only 3 steps to what I just put on the board there. Do not mistake the simplicity for its extreme power. The more complicated things that you've got, you can't remember those things, let alone take action on those things. And the more things you have, the more chances there are to fail. Please write this down. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. When it gets too complex, it just gets way too hard for most people. By the way, with all of these steps, the 7 ideal ways to meet your ideal client, how to ask people's time, how to do, this is by the way, the client attraction presentation. I know I mentioned that a few times. The best way to present your offer. This is pretty much over. I think I've went over time, but I'm going to drop a link into the chat box because there is a free training that I've put together that explains all of this in great detail. What you need to do is we need to take control of the marketing in our business because sometimes people think, Cham, all of this sounds difficult. Can't I just outsource all of this stuff? Here is the thing. When you outsource your marketing, you outsource your income. I've tried to outsource it before. I would love to just pay someone money and all of this stuff happens for me. I've tried that 3 times in the past and spent well over $50,000 doing it. You want to empower yourself to do the marketing. But the good news is that once you see the exact steps, marketing becomes pretty easy. See, marketing is half your business as well. You have a coaching business. Coaching, you're probably already good at that or you're on your way to being great at that. What's the business part? It's bringing in the business. You don't want a coaching job. If you want a coaching job, forget about the marketing. It doesn't matter because you get given clients. But Cham, I don't want a job. I want the freedom of a business. If you want the freedom of a business, then you need to have the bringing in the business skills in-house, which is the marketing part. So if you want to learn more, put together this free training. It just lays it all out that we didn't have time to go in this video. Just click the link down below and you can start growing a thriving coaching business. But let me lock in the takeaways and major action steps for what we've covered today. And please let me know in the comments section below which one of these is resonating with you the most and which one of these is the thing that you need to stop doing immediately in order to start growing a faster business. Number 1, we looked at websites. You don't need a website. At most, you need a landing page, but there's also the instant form. Number 2, podcasts. Build it and they will come. I don't think so. You still have to market that thing and you have no feedback because it's all none to many. Where when you start, it should be one-on-one. Number 3, anything that trades your time for money. Networking, trade shows, flyers. It's not scalable. It's maybe good at the start to get feedback, but after a while, that is not the main event. That's going to be a sideshow for a lot of people. Number 4, free social media posts. The rules that we had is, will it reach new people? Can I reuse this? Is it building a relationship? Social media posts don't really do that. The only caveat there is YouTube. I think long-term, YouTube is a lot better because you're educating in a library, not a party. And there's longevity in YouTube. Number 5, boosting posts on Facebook. Ignorance tax. Do not hit that little blue button that says boost posts until you've done my program or until you really know what you're doing. Number 6, BSOs. Any bright, shiny object, flavor of the month. This is the best thing since sliced bread. I want to be like Warren Buffett. If it hasn't been around for years, I don't want to touch it right now, especially when I begin. Why would I bank on something to feed my family that just popped up overnight? Doesn't sound like a good idea for me. But Cham, I could hit it big, but you could also not. I don't think it's worth it. Just like I wouldn't invest in an IPO or something like that. Number 7, lead magnets. No time, therefore no trust, therefore no ability to ask for the transaction. Number 8, any old business cards or contacts, just a dead end, I would say, because there's no existing relationship there. Number 9, any spammy stuff, just Stay away from it. Don't do it. Just do it properly. Number 10, giving out free sessions or giving out discovery sessions, not building a future vision. Last but not least, we need a marketing map. Meet your ideal client, ask for time, present your offer. There's 7 ways here. There's one best way when you first begin, and then there's one, what we call a vision script to present your offer. If you want to know more, just click that link that is in the chat box again, or if you want to know more, just click the link in the comments section below. I'm going to answer some Q&A coming up very, very soon. So if you've got some questions, please raise your virtual hand and we can answer those. I just want to tell you about the Client Attraction Secrets program, which obviously you're at here. But if you go to authentic.com.au/secrets or click that link, I'll just let you know what's coming up. So this is today. Then same bat time, same bat channel in 2 weeks' time, how I made $55 million by falling in love with marketing. This is critical. A lot of people hate marketing. On a scale from 0 to 10 right now in the chat box, how much do you love marketing? 10 being, I love it more than my children, or, or 5 being, oh, so-so. 8 is like, I love it as much as watching Netflix. But for most people, it's not like that. On a scale from 0 to 10, how much do you love marketing? Let me ask you this. If someone does not love exercise and does not love eating healthy food, how fit are they going to be? Not that. If someone does not like playing tennis and they're only playing tennis for the fame and the fortune, what are their chances of being great at tennis? Like almost 0. I don't think anyone has ever won Wimbledon who did not love the game of tennis. So likewise, if someone does not love attracting clients, or at the very least like attracting clients, I can almost predict their success. Your willpower can only last for so long. Sooner or later, we need that internal motivation. And hence that is the love of marketing that I would love to give to you at this one here in 2 weeks' time. You can see the times are there. And then third here, outsourcing marketing, why it's costing coaches a lot of money. It's just getting over this mindset that I would love to kick the can of responsibility down the road to someone else. The late great Zig Ziglar said, if it is to be, it is up to me. And a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to marketing. So I'm just going to overcome the technological barriers, the procrastination, the fear factor, the mindset of taking control of your marketing. By the way, all of these things are things that I do not have time to go through in the special training that I put together when I drop that link. These are complementary things. There is no way I'm spending 30 entire minutes of what not to do at the training. But the reason I think that's important for you is because you don't fall into the trap of like, oh, this looks really good, but hang on, am I going to be able to reuse this time and time again? You have to look at the road ahead. Right now, when you first start your business, raise your hands if you're a new business owner. Raise your hands if you're a new business owner. You've probably got more time than you have clients. True? If I have a look at your calendar, it's probably filled up with more trying to attract clients than it is to actually service your clients. But sooner or later, that changes. And if you've been spending your time on things that trade time for money, that will become apparent. You're going to run out of time. You're like, I spent all this time getting really good at rocking up to networking events, doing elevator pitches, and handing out my business card. I'm really good at that, but I don't have time to do that anymore. I should have invested my time, energy, and money into a skill that was scalable. Now I got to start again, but I don't want to start again because I've already got this. Now you're in this conflict zone. I say that because I've been there. I've been there before. By the way, so that you don't miss a beat, I'm going to drop this into the chat box as well. If you have not done it yet, it's just this thank you page. So you can add it to your calendar if you do iCal, Google Calendar, or you can just set up a recurring calendar appointment for every 2 weeks. My commitment was to do this until the end of the year. Massive commitment there. So after that, I may or may not do it, depending on how it goes, how I feel, the feedback that I get. But my commitment was to do it at the end of the year. By the way, if you want to scan the QR code, if you've not joined the WhatsApp group yet, or click there, you can do it. I'll just explain to give you some behind the scenes information on why my commitment was to do it at the end of the year. One of the benefits of doing this for me is also forced growth. Like, I love personal development. I love growing. And a lot of people, including myself, we just grow better with accountability. So as much as you today are here to learn from me, I am also here to learn from you. I think a master is also a student, and I never stop learning and I never stop growing. So while you are here for me and I'm holding you accountable to learn because we're all doing this live, you're also doing the exact same thing for me right now. So that is one of the reasons that I'm booking a Zoom event every 2 weeks. Unlike my business partner, Ben, he does so many speaking engagements. I typically would only do them about once a year to the general public. And I think it's just not as good. It's just a different feeling there. All right, let's answer some questions. Chris, go for it, Chris.
Hi, Cham. How are you doing? So sorry. Hi, everyone. Cham, you just mentioned about, correct me if I'm wrong, because I missed it before because I got something else while I'm working. The point number 4 and number 5, free social media posts and do not boost posts. Now, let me be honest to you, because I'm new and after I'm finished my ACC, I took my DMA and ITB, which is Inspired to Buy, will be with you in the coming month. Now, in that meantime, from December to June, I just studied straight away a month after I'm finished my ACC using my like a Facebook and Instagram. To be honest, I'm not social media person, but at some point I have to, put myself out there. The quick one, the question is, I got someone in the Philippines to make this one, all the contents on things. Now, when you say the free social media, do not boost, do not think, and don't even put, your things to someone else. The question is, I'm working at the moment while I build up my business coaching. How am I going to juggle that if I'm not first, I'm not outsourcing? Yes, I'm still having control to what I want to do. So, to what I want things, but do I need to stop doing this, what I'm doing to posting my contents? And do I need to stop paying the person? Because to be honest, I have not enough time to do that.
Yeah, good question. You should outsource the actual grunt work, but you do not outsource the responsibility. So if I'm a restaurant owner, I want to understand what are the secret herbs and spices that go into those meals, because those meals are the lifeblood of my business. But I don't want to go into the kitchen and cook those meals every day. But if that chef, if my head chef and all of my chefs left me, I wouldn't be high and dry. I would understand how to hire someone else, train them, teach them, check that they're doing the work properly. Likewise, if you just hire someone else to do your Facebook ads and you say, here's my credit card, go for it and bring me back clients, you're in for a lot of disappointment. I've done that before. You have to understand the secret sauce of how you attract clients, and you have to be able to train and teach and check someone else is doing the right work. Otherwise, you can be taken for a ride. And I've been taken on many rides that are very painful in my career and my business. So yes, I understand you don't have time. I'll give you an example. If I said, I want to create an amazing restaurant, I'm going to hire a chef to cook the food, then I'm going to hire a marketing agency to bring in the clients. That's pretty much what a restaurant is. Or I'm going to hire a builder to build a restaurant, and I'm just going to sit back and look for someone to blame when it goes wrong. That is not it. Steve Jobs didn't do that. He didn't just hire someone to create the iPhone and then hire someone to market the iPhone. You are the business owner. With all due respect, with love, I'm going to say this. It's your business. You need to know how to run it. We need to know how to run our business with love. LJ, go for it.
Hello, Cham. Okay, so one of those areas you said, social media, the free posts. Oh, that really worries me because I love making cute reels. So what happens now, I've got my ad out on Facebook and Instagram, and then the psychology behind it of these people looking and then going onto my page. I don't want to stop creating it. I'll slow myself down, to give myself more time to do my events. I don't know if I'm asking for permission off you, but it's more so what would be best for them when they look at our page and they see content, something recent. I know me, when I saw yours, it took me a long time to actually press yes, let's go, because I wanted to see what you had going and learn more about you to build that trust. So I'm thinking that what happens, the psychology with those people that are looking on our page that we haven't posted for a long time or don't have anything up there.
That I agree with. So when I'm running ads, I will try and have at least 1 to 3 recent posts. And if I just started a brand new account, I would want to see at least 9 posts, so it fills up the person's screen. Likewise on Facebook too. So if you're running ads, yes, I do agree. You should have a few recent posts, but there's a difference between doing something and banking on something. I'll do the social media posts, but I'm not expecting it to be a game changer. If I'm placing ads, roughly 10% of people who see the ad will click to the profile and think, let me check out this person before I actually do the thing. So it's not the be all and end all there if you don't have followers or if you don't have a lot of posts. But because it's so easy to do, I'm creating those posts. My intention for those posts is for the ads or to look respectable. If someone met me somewhere else and they just try and Google me or look me up on social media, that there's something there. It's to just be window dressing. But it is not in my mind, here is my plan to earn $150,000 this year as a coach. I'm going to create all these social media posts. So there's lots of things you can do. And if they take a little bit of time to do, by all means, do them. But I'm saying, what is your primary main marketing method that you're banking on? Do not bank on that social media free post?
Okay, yeah, because what you've said in the past, I've been recycling my videos that I've created in the past and used the ones that were most popular, and then they actually had more views the second, third time around. So I can see that during the time of me advertising my event, that's when I can go a little bit more creative when it comes to my ads, and then have some rest in between and just recycle.
Yeah, 100%. So as an example, I think a great use of social media, I mentioned before, for people who have existing trust with you. Another great use for social media is to test things. If you're posting regularly, you're testing, you're also building confidence and experience in yourself. You're also getting familiar with the platform. But if you choose to place paid ads, because you're understanding the platform and you're not afraid of social media, not you specifically, but a lot of our clients are kind of, I don't use social media. But if you don't use social media, then you don't understand a lot of things. But now we're not banking on it, but we're using social media for practice, for feedback, for experience, understanding the platform, for window dressing, to look respectable if people click us from an ad or some other thing that they've heard from us. It's totally different intention and mindset. That's what we've got time for today. In the chat box, please type in, what is the biggest thing you got out of today's session? There was a lot I wanted to jam pack in to 30 minutes, probably too ambitious. One of the things with educators and difference makers and coaches, we've got so much we want to share and not enough time to share it. Hence why I definitely don't like 90-second reels where possible. Because I can't help myself, let me give you one more thing on time. Our most precious resource is not money, it is not energy, it is time. That is the thing that we can never ever get back. So a fallacy of time is, I know Cham said, or I know I think this thing isn't important, I'm just going to do it anyways, and then I'll make back the time later. We cannot make back that time. Every time you say yes to something, you say no to something else. If I say yes to pouring 6 hours creating the world's best business card, I say no to building a repeatable pipeline of clients in my business. But the good news is, when I say no to this business card thing, I say yes to the pipeline of clients. It's finite. Time is finite. Unlike money, you can have billions and millions of dollars and you can make more money. You cannot make a second more of time. So do not fool yourself into thinking you have time to do it all, or I'll just do this, I'll just do it after hours. If you're just doing it after hours, then just spend another 2 hours after hours building a pipeline of clients, which is your best bet, your best strategy, not on something that is not the best use of your time. That's all we've got time for today. I'm going to take everyone off mute to say goodbye. And until we meet again, just remember, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it started. I will see you soon if you are joining for that upcoming training that is in the link below that I previously dropped. See you later all. Have a great day.
Thanks, Cham.
Thank you so much.
Later, everyone.